We have Mahesh already. Mahesh and Vivek. I'll just unmute them.
Okay.
Good morning. We are honored to be in this forum.
Hi, Mahesh.
Hi, Mahesh. Hi, Vivek.
Hi.
Can you tell me which company do you represent, please? Sorry, I just missed that.
Firstsource.
Rajiv, we are
Vivek are from
Firstsource.
Firstsource.
Okay, thank you.
Mahesh and Vivek, who should be the presenter? I'll just give the presenting access.
I will be the presentation.
Okay, Vivek. I'm going to get it. All right, Vivek. You have got the presenter access now. Milind, over to you.
Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, we can.
All right, good morning. All right, good morning. So we are Firstsource. Thank you for having us in this very esteemed forum. We are so proud to be around. I'm Mahesh Krishnan. I lead and manage the workforce management activities for Firstsource from Mumbai side for customer management segment. I have my colleague Vivek Padmanabhan with me. Vivek manages our analytical initiatives from our Bangalore location. We are here to present our homegrown forecasting tool, Analytics First.
Right. The reason we are here to present this homegrown Analytics First is primarily because we held the project. I mean, we were the owners of a project from the WFM Friends, so we collaborated with the internal analytical team to make this a success story from an organization standpoint. So the thought process in terms of getting this Analytics First into the organization was from merging the WFM Friend along with the analytical background. So we've been seeing explorations over machine learning, data science, AI models, so on and so forth. So we know that part of the world, but we also wanted to merge the WFM aspect into it. So that's where the innovation of Analytics First came into place. So over the course of presentation, we'll be just seeing how we developed, implemented, and leveraged Analytics First to its best for its forecasting process. But before that, we also need to understand the important aspect of forecasting in the planning process. So as we all know that how critical it is, but we just wanted to lay a simple point, or we just need to take a quick brief around the planning process.
Yeah, so as Vivek pointed out, why is forecasting the numero uno piece of the entire FSS puzzle? And as all the learned colleagues here in this forum understand, forecasting is one and that specific piece of the FSS puzzle, which has impact across all the aspects of workforce management. Maybe a short term, as Nadia was presenting earlier, there is huge impact in terms of manpower positioning in a short term level, at an intraday level. Medium term, most critical and most underrepresented segment, I would say, of workforce management in terms of capacity planning. Understanding how we go about our hiring requirements, how do we set ourselves up for the most critical interim period of next quarter, and obviously long term, as all of the leaders here would do for our forward financial planning and analysis, or budgeting and estimating the business growth probably for in a year.
As you now know how important the forecasting process is, we also have to understand the software support or the systems available in the markets, right? So if you were to ask me if we need to categorize them in regards to the contact center that we operated, I would say we could categorize them into two different aspects. One being the WFM suites, which are well developed by our market leaders, which are available to cater to the WFM needs, especially into the contact center arena. The other aspect would be your multi-purpose tools, which primarily deals with your data analytical stuff, which literally works on the statistical models or it's purely based on the statistical modeling which we are operating at.
Right. So as Vivek has been pointing out, we have different players in this entire ecosystem. While we have very well-established stalwarts market leaders who come up with best well-integrated WFM suites, as we just saw one being presented out. At the other end of the spectrum, we do have some specialized software packagings, programming platforms, especially with AI and other stuff coming in. We have a lot of choice. We are spoiled for choice. But here, if you look at these the ecosystem very closely, what you can really understand is that at one end of the spectrum, while we have these well-defined WFM suites, we do have most of them come in as pre-designed. We have forecasting modules in place in most of the WFM suites. They do come with some amount of integration involved to them, professional services. At the other end of the spectrum, we do have our software, specialized software packages, which may not be specifically contact center specific, and to address our needs. For example, as we pointed out, the midterm forecasting, not specifically suited for the costs. And also, while we deploy them, there is a cost of deployment involved. These are specialized packages, heavy duty packages. You need to have a trained manpower behind that. So that's where we started thinking, and certain problems which demanded unique solutions started presenting to us while we were at it. So that's where our homegrown tool had come in. In the forthcoming slides, we are going to take you, and we are going to tell you the story of Analytics First, how we came about and how we came up with this tool. But there were certain specific problems that were presented to us by certain clients, and as a solution, Analytics First emerged. To understand Analytics First in its entirety, we wanted, and as all of the learned people in the forum know, we understand that there are three aspects of every forecasting tool that needs to be addressed for a better maneuverability. We have the integration aspect of it. So every forecasting tool needs to be integrated to the input systems very seamlessly, for the data to flow in, the input to flow in, the algorithms to be fed. Then the mid end, we have the modeling aspects. So most of the players are really good here. We also bring in our unique capabilities into the package. We have auto regression models, we have Gauch models, and this is where I want to probably connect to the unique problem that we faced. So while you look at any kind of client system that comes to you, the problems are mostly unique. We had certain clients which had data feeding in, and the call drivers, or probably the transaction drivers. Some of them were pretty stable. Like you have, let's say for a banking and financial client, you have your EMI schedules coming up, or your collection schedules coming up. So these are dates on which you can expect certain amount of variation. So if you look at the tool, the modeling aspects, you have a very stable method like auto regression backing that up. Some other clients would come up with, or even the same client comes up with a unique situation where they have ATM operations involved, very volatile scenario. The schedules are mostly field based. So there you can go to the other end of the spectrum and can deploy something like Gauch. So that is the kind of maneuverability, and that is the kind of flexibility the modeling aspect of this platform provides. And obviously, as it is standard practice, this goes about and starts fitting the best model out. And to do that, that is where the scalability aspect of this comes in. We have kind of designed this using this was actually a collaboration between the workforce management team in terms of the practices, the data sciences team, the Firstsource home data sciences team supporting us with the implementation, and we have certain third-party colleagues of ours who helps us with that kind of a user-friendly front end that Vivek had shown us. So that's where the scalability came in. We could run as good as around 256 iterations on this, and select the best fitting model. The final salient feature, you can feed the output to anywhere. If you want the system to sit on top of any of your already existing systems, we can do that. The output can directly go in there. You can probably bring out the output, use it for further iteration using any other tools that you have. So this comes in, plugs in very seamlessly, uses its unique aspects, and helps you with an over spectrum of problems that you are having, then gives you an output which comes out seamlessly. We want to take you to a use case where we went about and where we could demonstrate the capabilities of this.
Like Mahesh just mentioned about the technical aspects of Analytics First. here is a use case that we want to present to the forum, where we implemented this tool to this particular client, and we're just going to, upcoming slides will talk about the quantifications on benefits and the results that we have achieved over a period of time using this tool. So just to give a brief on the client perspective, so here is our leading banking and financial organization. Their ask was to handle a multi-channel and a multilingual of contact center operations across India, as per se. So they had a problem statement where they came up with a unique problem statement, which actually dealt with they were experiencing higher customer abandonment, which also invariably led to higher SA and poor customer delivery and service levels.
So as Vivek has been pointing out, we were seeing why we were approached. We were, in fact, this was a business that came over, and while we were approached with this business, certain unique problems and certain unique problems that the client faced or they did not have access into was that accurately placing their midterm forecast, accurately understanding how the data is going to flow in. So that's where we kind of conceived, and we knew that this was actually resulting in a lot of manpower positioning problems for them, and subsequent cost leakage and customer desat. So while we sat down with them and kind of designed the solution around this, we kind of realized that the root cause is where they have, as we pointed out in the previous slide, they have parts of their business or call drivers or transaction drivers, since this being a multi-channel, multilingual setup, which are very stable, which gives very stable data around this, and they also have parts of the business which probably are not as stable and not predictable. So this needed a multi modeling approach, a huge scalable platform. Then that's where we went ahead with this innovation. Now the results are there, and we did manage to bring a fair amount of change and a good amount of change into the forecasting accuracy. Resultant manpower positioning, and then that's something that all of us know, that once that initial piece falls into place, the rest will follow. I would only talk about the end result. Over the last 3 years, it's a huge banking and financial client that we have. We managed to grow the business by 5-folds. That's what we could leverage out of fixing a small problem like this. We will take you through the further activities that we did on this to stabilize the problem.
Yeah. Once we have established the problem statement, so now we wanted to deal with this process as a 3-step process, or if you were to ask me, it's a measure and analyze phase, where we benchmark using 3 different aspects. One is in analysis mode, and improvement, and then the innovation. So during the analysis phase, we understood what could be the real cost factors in terms of affecting the forecasting outflows. So as we all know, that the key unique identifier to have a good forecasting accuracy levels is its historical data and the causatives and the future events that's going to affect the forecasting model, right? So we did not have sufficient information to do that bit. So we started benchmarking during the analysis phase, and then we started steadily, we moved to an improvement phase. We modeled the statistical models using the traditional methods, and we accomplished the results of 80 to 90%. And then is where we implemented or we innovated Analytics First in this process, where we dealt with dealing this process in a different angle altogether using data analytical tools. So that's where we collaborated with our analytic team to understand if we could get a web-based platform where we could go ahead and improve the accuracy levels, and not only improve accuracy levels, but at the same time to reduce the iterations that we do or handle with the manual work, right? So that's the innovation phase. So now I'm going to quantify these 3 aspects into the benefits that we have achieved over a period of time. So towards the left side, if you could just see the graph. So that's the graph which is going to let us know the forecasting accuracy that we have achieved over a period of time. Towards the right would be your service level metrics, primarily your service level and abandonment rate. So as I mentioned earlier, so during the analysis, we really struggled in terms of meeting that forecasting accuracy levels. So if you look at, we had a clear trend indicating that we were not actually in up to the mark that we were that the client were expecting us. And moving on to the improvement phase, So we were still achieving the targets, but not on a stable mode. So if you look at certain months, we were at a 92%, then suddenly dropped to a 70%, so on and so forth. And we then laid the innovation phase. So if you could clearly observe the line there, so we were really on a stable mode in terms of achieving the accuracy levels. It subsequently gave a good amount of improvement in service level and abandonment rate, which clients were expecting that. So I just want to end this topic here by just adding one more point to it. It not only improved the accuracy levels and improved the service levels at the client standpoint, but at the same time, it reduced the hours that an analyst, a forecasting analyst, has to put into a manual stuff into the day-to-day activity. And second aspect to it is just a plug and play, as Mahesh mentioned. You just have to upload the data into the tool, and rest all the machine takes care. And the output, what the tool is going to give us, is where we're going to play around with. That's it. I think that's it from our end. Thank you so much for the opportunity provided to us in terms of presenting this tool, and we are now open for any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are really, as we said in the beginning of the presentation, we are really honored to be in this forum, and that's Analytics First for you. Thank you so much. We are now open to any questions.
Hi Vivek, hi Mahesh. This is Peter. I have a question. Hi, good morning. Thanks for all the effort. Thanks for the initiative. I have a quick question. We are restricted. This tool is restricted to forecasting. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's right.
There's no simulation for actual schedules that it is linking back to. So this is whichever multiple algorithms, ARIMA, I'm sure there's ARIMA coming into play, which I understand, and being able to do outlier in the right way, throwing out, normalizing the data on its own, which is wonderful because that's where the most of the time is wasted for a forecaster. That is what it does, right?
That's right. So that's why we went ahead and we kind of made it clear that forecasting is going to be the backbone of the NDFSS process, and that's where we are placing the tool.
And to add on to what Mahesh said, and I think I just missed one part here. So the forecasting activity which we do is a T+60 period, which means your ARIMA will definitely fit into
You're doing the medium, so that you're doing so you're focused on the medium. The short term is not something that you're looking at, right? This can't do long term.
That's right. Yeah, we are looking at the medium term. That's right.
The medium term, this is basically primarily for capacity planning in terms of the immediate hiring requirements and so on and so forth, and what is the mobilization stuff. This is not meant for scheduling purposes because this is not at an interval short-term forecast, right?
Right. So what happens is the lock period, as you mentioned correctly, yes, that is for capacity planning, but that gets locked with our client, and then rest all tweakings happens with our internal WFM.
No, got it. I have understood. I got my query clarified. I'm understanding the ins and outs and the boundaries that is existing. Great show, great job. I mean, it's a good stuff to have, right? And the forecasters must be really happy because dimag kharab nahi hoga.
That's right. That's right. I mean, that's where I said the last point where initially it took a lot of time to actually. I mean, everybody knows the pain in terms of handling the manual stuff in terms of bringing back.
You gotta maintain daily. You're right.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there's one more reason, Shiva, to place that in the midterm. We find that segment a lot neglected, and that we as it's not just about forecasters. As capacity planners, there is another segment, people who plan the business out, and a short-term hiring decision is the backbone of business sustenance, as we understand.
No, got it. And I clearly see that you use Box and Jenkins, without any restraints, which is visible. Okay, cool.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mahesh, this is Deepak.
Yeah, Deepak.
How easy or difficult is to deploy it, say, for any new business or any existing business? What is the lead time from deployment to seeing the results in terms of improvement of accuracy?
So if I hear it correctly, so the question is in terms of how quickly we can implement this tool. That is one. Secondly, how beneficial is going to be on the accuracy level, right?
That's right.
Okay, so to discuss on that, like we mentioned, it's using an ARIMA approach in terms of forecasting modeling, right? So here is an example where we took a industry where it was completely volatile. So we did not understand what exactly was happening in terms of the inputs. Primarily, we did not have any information in terms of forecasting. So it was completely volatile. If you were to ask me. So to establish this, we took approximately 9 to 10 months. So if you look at the it took 9 to 2 months is only because that okay, we were on a testing phase of this tool. But if you were to ask me currently, if you have the ready proof in terms of all the information relating to any causes or anything that is actually anticipating to your accuracy levels, we would say the moment you implement it, you will have to at least test it for a minimum 2 to 3 months of period to see what best it can come out of it. But as we said, ARIMA is just going to utilize your recent trends, and the iterations what we have given here is approximately 265. So it's going to be pretty much it's going to pick the best model out of it, and I assume that it will definitely give you the accuracy levels to if it's going to if it's have a stationary modeling.
Vivek, I want to
Right,
support add on.
I'm sorry, Sridhar.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Vivek, this is pretty immediate. If you put in normal data, this will give you results right away. You don't have to wait. So whoever asked that question, implementation is not a problem here. It is data in, data out. Clean data, it's going to be Gigo if you do it. If you throw garbage in, it will throw garbage out. However, if you throw in clean data, this is immediate. You'll get the result. Medium term, clean at one shot. You'll get a MAP of about 5 straight. Go ahead, Mahesh. You were adding on. I just wanted to say.
Thanks. You're pretty much summed up. The only point that I was trying to come up with is that it also depends upon the requirement gathering. We need to understand the ecosystem in which prospect operates, and once the requirement gathering is pretty stable, then as Vivek and Sridhar has rightly understood, it is going to be a plug and play for us.
Absolutely. I mean, the point where I was coming from in terms of 3 months is just to make sure that you have the correct set of data. But as Sridhar rightly mentioned, so this is going to use the ARIMA model. It's going to have, your results are immediate. So that's where I was actually correlating.
Vivek, Mahesh, thank you. This is Vineet here. Has this been deployed across the enterprise, across all the organizations, all the contract?
So are you asking about the internal clients at an enterprise level, right?
That is right.
Yeah. So we have showcased these capabilities to our existing clients as well. So we have actually implemented to one of the biggest clients, as we just spoke about in the use case. But we are working towards it, and we have the ready-made use case presented to all our existing clients. So we are on it.
Okay, thank you.
So this is a standard offering to all our new clients that come on board. This is a standard offering, and we have showcased this capability to all our existing partners, and we have a large scale implementation in one of our biggest clients.
And also, since that I'm handling the RFP and RFI, but I also can confirm that okay, we are actually showcasing these capabilities to our prospective clients, which we're going to anticipate in the near future. So we are showcasing all these capabilities to all our new opportunities that we are receiving outside in the market.
Fantastic.
Okay, so from audience, any questions from attendees that they would like to pass on? If not, from jury side, any other questions? Sridhar, Vineet?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
What will you sell it for? I mean, what will you, if I want to buy it and use it, it's a very simple question. What is the costing that you've done on this? Or what is the ROI that you're looking at?
So we can definitely we can take that up. We can do a POC with you, and I'm sure you will find it very satisfactory.
We have one question from Yogesh. Yogesh, you can.
Hi, this is Yogesh here. Firstly, great tool. Congratulations for this. Firstly, secondly, My question is primarily related to the data, as the Box, Jennings, ARIMA require at least 3 years of data to generate a good forecast. How easy or how difficult is it to get from the customer? Because I think that's the major challenge, getting the data across, especially in a BPO. So could you please
So let
highlight?
me very valid question, and coming from a very seasoned professional, because those are the shortcomings. But let me first take the example of the client, the use case that we presented here. The client had migrated in from one of the existing partners, so that data ecosystem was already set up. So we did not find much challenges in the implementation that we had. Now the question wherein it comes, auto regression and all related search models do need a fair amount of data. While 3 years is something very desirable, if you look at our ecosystem that we operate in, many of them are established players, except for very new entrance into the market. And then you need, as a forecaster, if you can prop the right data sources, the right, you will be in receipt of this data. And then certain shortcomings could be, extrapolated and looked upon, and model could be adjusted. So these are things that we do day in and day out, as all of us do day in and day out. So 3 years, we don't take that as a fixed benchmark, while it is desirable to have, and most old players will have that. And if we don't have that, then we will have to probably find other ways to fit the model in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I think if no more questions, thanks Mahesh and Vivek.
Thank you very much, sir. As we keep mentioning, we are very honored to be in this forum. Such an elite platform and learned audience as they have been displaying. Thank you so much.
One question from Ashwini Panwar. I'll just allow him to ask question. Ashwini.
I was wondering whether I'm there in the session or not.
Hi, Ashwini.
Anyways, hi Mahesh, Vivek, congratulations
Hi,
first of
Ashwini.
all. I have two questions. One, hi, is the forecast accuracy on slide number 9 basis interval MAPE, or is it at day MAPE, or is it at monthly offer rate only?
Monthly offer.
So as we said, we are positioning in the mid range. We are looking at the monthly thing as in forecast, and while as we move into intraday, and as it's monthly, and as practitioners, we know that as we move into intraday, our forecast accuracy will keep increasing, and as we move into the long range, that is the mid range is where the fitment and accuracy becomes a problem, and that's where we are concentrating.
My second question is, have you measured your success at an interval level? If it is, what targets you're keeping for yourself? And you can share. And the follow-up question is, are you only checking the offer rate, that means the magnitude accuracy, or are you checking the pattern accuracy also? These are two different things.
So by magnitude accuracy, you mean the volume, the volume accuracy.
So
and
right now I see that you look at monthly volume. I am looking at two questions I have. I have mentioned, first of all, at an interval level, are you looking at, have you measured the accuracy? And do you have certain targets, some aspirational targets for yourself to achieve? And if it is probably in a short term, and what it is, probably you can talk about a little on that. And follow-up question is, do you also measure the pattern accuracy?
So let us take the questions one by one. One, as we mentioned during the course of the presentation, midterm is where we position ourselves, and our measurements are also based on midterm. So while we can take this to an intraday level, we try to keep this at midterm, and that's where we really want to bring the impact in. So the measurement is mostly monthly, and intraday is not something that we venture into. But we know for a fact that if we have a good and a stable forecast accuracy running on midterm, that will automatically translate into something in intraday. Taking the second question of the measurement aspects, we try to be within the industry standards, and then it again depends upon client to client. We rather try to keep ourselves flexible from one client ecosystem to another. So for example, if we are looking at a collection atmosphere, for them forecast accuracy for certain days at a monthly level would not be a big indicator of performance, but certain days where where they have a high volume coming in, those are the days where they want to be more accurate about it. So it depends, and we try to work with the client ecosystem to arrive at the targets that we try to keep. But fairly we can see that, and as you can see from the use case that we have presented here, we are in all industry benchmarks. We are well above industry benchmarks. And coming to magnitude and pattern,
I wanted to have a very specific question. My question was, let me just ask a very, very pointed question. My question was, what is your current interval level accuracy and what is your pattern accuracy? Just two numbers, if you would want to share.
So see, we can give you indicative numbers. With regards to pattern accuracy, we are talking about accuracies, because we do not use that terminology in our ecosystem. What we understand from pattern accuracy is that it is more relevant to an intraday pattern, not to a midterm pattern. So our measurement does not happen in pattern accuracy. We more or less we measure it at a magnitude or a volume level, and that's the results displayed here. Having answered that, the second one is that we try to keep ourselves aligned to the client targets as far as forecast accuracy is concerned. But the tool is capable of throwing out pretty standard and aspirational industry targets.
Thank you.
So Shiva, any other questions from the audience?
I don't see any questions. Let's move ahead now with Saitil.
Okay. Thanks, Mahesh. Thanks, Vivek.
Thank you, Shiva. Thank you for all the last minute adjustments you did. Thank you so much.